Before bananas ever reach the factory line, their journey begins on carefully tended plantations, where fully developed clusters hang heavy beneath broad green leaves. Here, timing decides everything. The fruit must be ripe, uniform, and intact, because every loaf of banana bread begins with precise balance. Harvesting is done by hand. Workers support the weight of each cluster, lowering it gently to avoid even the slightest damage. Selected bananas are placed into ventilated containers and sent on their way under strict temperature control. When the truck arrives at the facility, the bananas are not simply unloaded. They move from a living environment into a strictly controlled space. Each container becomes part of a precise production rhythm, where chance no longer exists. If you enjoyed this process, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss how everyday products are produced. The flow of fruit moves along the conveyor as inspection systems carefully read every surface. Color, integrity, and shape are checked instantly before the banana advances any further. Next, the bananas enter the cleaning zone, where water becomes the first filter between nature and production. A soft, even flow removes everything unnecessary without disturbing the fruit itself. Rotating brushes complete the wash, moving gently across the surface without pressure. After this, the bananas look as if they were just picked from the tree. Peeling takes place automatically, precisely, and without abrupt motion. Only the dense, pale flesh remains, the foundation of future flavor. The finished banana puree is collected in sealed reservoirs, where temperature and consistency remain unchanged. From this moment on, the flavor of the future bread begins to take shape. While the bananas become puree, dry ingredients begin their journey separately, through sealed systems where neither moisture nor air can interfere. Everything here starts with purity and precision, invisible yet easily lost. Flour passes through multi-stage sifting, removing clumps and unwanted particles. This step does not speed up production, but it makes the dough predictable and stable. Sugar, salt, and leavening agents are measured with electronic precision, where even fractions of a gram matter. This is where the balance of flavor, lift, and texture is formed. All dry components are combined into a single blend and mixed until fully uniform. From this point on, they behave as one ingredient without surprises or deviation. Once verified, parameters are locked in and the dry mixture is sealed. It is ready to meet the banana base, a union that defines the character of the bread. Liquid ingredients demand special care. Here, softness matters as much as accuracy. Eggs open automatically, gently separating the clean mass from the shell, as if freeing the foundation of the dough. Oil warms slowly, becoming fluid and responsive. Milk flows into sealed tanks, and vanilla is added drop by drop. It is in such details that aromas are born, impossible to imitate. Slow mixing brings the ingredients together without haste, allowing them to become acquainted. The mixture turns smooth and stable, as if preparing for an important meeting. Sensors continuously monitor temperature and viscosity, keeping the mixture in perfect condition. There is no room for improvisation here, only precise rhythm and calibrated balance. The banana base enters the industrial mixer first, dense, aromatic, already carrying the future character of the bread. Liquid ingredients follow, gently enveloping the mass and preparing it for full integration. The dry blend descends from above, like the final stroke in a carefully designed formula. Mixing begins slowly, allowing the ingredients to meet without sudden force. Mixer paddles gradually build rhythm, and separate components begin moving as one. The dough thickens, becoming viscous. This is where its future structure is born. Sensors track every detail: load, temperature, and resistance. The goal is not just to mix, but to reach perfect balance without excess air. As the dough reaches its ideal state, the mixer slows, almost as if pausing. The mass becomes smooth, dense, and uniform, without bubbles, separation, or chance. Finished dough flows out in a steady, uninterrupted stream. At this point, mixing ends, and shaping of future loaves begins. After intense mixing, the process seems to pause. A small sample is taken automatically, allowing the system to feel the result. Density, moisture, and temperature are checked simultaneously against reference values. Here, consistency matters just as much as accuracy. Sensors confirm structural stability, uniform distribution, and absence of separation. The dough proves it is ready to move forward without correction. Once quality is confirmed, waiting ends. The dough is now ready to take shape and continue toward baking. Empty metal molds appear on the line, identical like reflections in a mirror. Their geometry is flawless because shape is the first thing that defines the bread's character. The molds are cleaned and dried, as if shedding traces of the previous cycle. A thin layer of oil settles evenly, preparing the surface for transformation. Aligned with millimeter precision, the molds take their places on the conveyor. At this moment, metal becomes more than a shell. It becomes a promise of perfection. When preparation is complete, the line pauses for just a moment. Ahead lies the meeting of mold and dough, the beginning of a new chapter. The dosing systems lower over the molds with perfect synchrony, as if guided by an invisible command. At this moment, the dough still holds the warmth of mixing, ready to accept its future shape. The dough settles into the molds calmly and evenly, without splashes or unnecessary motion. Each mold receives the exact same amount, no more, no less. The surface of the dough remains smooth, as if leveled by a single precise gesture. Here, it is not appearance that matters, but the uniformity of the bake to come. The conveyor moves steadily, without hesitation, carrying the filled molds further along the line. Each one carries the same promise of the final result. Aligned in perfect order, the molds approach the oven. The dough pauses in anticipation. The warmest and most decisive stage lies ahead. The molds slowly enter the oven, and the space around them begins to change. Temperature rises gradually, as if giving the dough time to understand that transformation has begun. The dough responds first. It lifts, expands, and fills with inner movement. Moisture escapes gently and under control, making room for the structure to form. The surface begins to darken, taking on warm, golden tones. This is where the crust is formed. Not merely a shell, but a guardian of flavor and aroma.
The audio features the sound of an oven cooling down, characterized by the hum of internal fans maintaining.
Hot air circulates evenly around the molds, leaving no room for chance. Each loaf passes through identical conditions, as if following a single, shared script. As the time comes to an end, the temperature begins to fall. The dough completes its transformation. It is no longer a mass, but fully formed banana bread. Leaving the oven behind, the hot bread enters a zone of calm. Streams of cool air gently embrace the loaves, allowing heat to slowly give way to balance. Cooling takes place slowly and evenly, without sudden changes. It is at this moment that the internal structure of the bread finally stabilizes. When the temperature becomes safe, the bread releases easily from the molds. Each loaf is now ready to continue its journey, preserving its shape, aroma, and softness within. Each loaf passes under the final gaze of a system that never tires. High-resolution cameras read shape, color, and surface faster than the human eye could ever detect deviations. Finished bread moves carefully through labeling, receiving its name and identity. Transparent packaging closes gently around each loaf, preserving freshness while revealing the result of the entire journey. Pallets leave the production floor and set out on the road. A story that began among banana leaves and oven heat continues beyond the factory walls.